Right guys, very quick one tonight. I thought I'd just go through a quick how-to of how I tie my single hooked Jack Pike. Killer fly, looks fucking awesome in the water. Hope you all like it. So anyway, start off with an RX TP610 in 6.0. It's quite a long fly. You could probably get away with a 4.0, but I just like a slightly bigger hook just because it's got so much length. But anyway, let's go. So you're going to start off with some bucktail. And this is really just to add a bit of anti-fouling for the tail, really, because it's got quite a lot of fibres in the back. We just tie these straight back. They don't need to be hollow tied. Couple loose wraps. Squish it around the hook. Make sure it's on there nice and even. And just pull. Just keep pulling out through those buds. And this is going to help with anti-fouling. Don't want tail wraps, and nothing worse than fly fishing and getting a fly that the tail's always foul in the back end of the fly. Dab of glue. Just to make it a bit more teeth proof. And then some Magnum Flash for the tail. I like to use mostly green fibres for this, but there is a bit of other colours in. So I've got what's called a Fire Tiger blend. As you can see, greenish, yellow and a little bit of orange. I'm going to take out a couple of the orange because I don't want orange in the blend really. Just give that a bit of a taper. There you go. I'm literally going to tie this in probably 60-40. 60 out the back. So you want to just splay that over the top of the bucktail. Pitch it down. Couple wraps. Cinch that down nice and tight. Fold the rest over and kind of splay that around that bucktail. Just locks that down nice and neat. Rubber glue. Move it forward slightly. And then your Kanaka long fibres. So this is like a blend from dark greens all the way to light greens. And in the tail, I want kind of the more lighter end of the colours. So kind of grab a, I don't know, pencil thickness worth, like that. And you want that to be, I don't know, 10 inches. Snip it off. I'm just going to veil that now over the flasher boom. want just a little bit more to cover the underside. Not much, just a few strands. I'm simply just going to place that on the underside of the hook. As you can see, it blends in quite nicely with that. Blob of super glue. And now, ripple ice fibre. These are just going to be on the sides, the flanks of the fish. Just loosely pinch out a stack. And as you're pulling that out, it kind of pre-tapers it already. And again, I'd probably say 60-40. And you want that on both sides of the fly. Couple wraps. Now this is kind of got pearl dyed into it, so these are brittle, so if you pull, especially I use GSP 100, if you pull too tight now it will cut the fibres, so pull it tight enough but not enough to cut them off, and then just fold that back. Couple locking wraps. Blob of super glue. Vineyard Sparkle Crinkle Dub. Just pinch a bit off. Just twist that onto your thread. You just want a little bit on there ready to fill the gap. Now, so we've got bucktail, green, gold, and yellow Magnum Flashabou, Kaneka fibres, ripple ice. And we're going to go back to the Kaneka, and again, about a pencil's worth. And what you can do now is you can cut a little bit off the end. Real light fibres, just give that another bit of a taper. Just twist it in your fingers and pull. It pulls it out a nice little taper. I want this again. Now I'm going to tie this in, probably 60-40. Straight on top. That over. And on the underside, I've got like this creamy tan. Pull a small section of that off. Taper. again about 60-40 on the belly. Make sure you thread that around the hook. Split it, fold it back. Now that, because of the way these fibres are, by folding that over, you can see it gives quite a nice bit of body already, but I mean there's nothing there. It's like false bulk. Gives a nice profile in the water, puffs out, but not enough to make it a fat fly. This is still quite a long, skinny fly. Blob of super glue. Splice. The same again as earlier, just on the flanks. So a nice pinch. On the side, a couple wraps. It's important that you remember not to pull this mega tight, because it will cut this ripple ice in half. Just enough to secure it. Proper super glue. Red crystal flash. I'm just gonna, you want, I don't know, 10 strands. And it's gonna be the kind of the gills. Cut a load off, fold it in half. Take one half, put it to the side. Taper it a tiny bit, fold that in, and then fold it back so it's all on the side. Flip the fly over again, take the other half, taper it slightly, again on the side, fold them over, and you get some nice side gills then. Blob of super glue. Now I just want to just fill this gap with another little bit of crinkle dub. Again, I don't think the fish don't give a toss about this, but just makes for a fairly nice looking fly. Now, I'm going to now use the darkest part of this Kenkalon. Try and find a bit I've already cut so I'm not wasting loads. There you go. I only really want, as you can see, it's only a small bit here, I only really want the darkest part of this. And I'm only going to put it on the top. I'll probably go 50-50. spread it out a bit, move these round to the side. Pull the super glue. Some more ripple ice. On the sides. More glue. Now that is the body of the fly done. You can see nice and slim profile, fairly long. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tie the dubbing head using Predator dubbing. And it's going to be white and like a baitfish green. So rip and stack, so the fibres are all facing the same sort of way. So it's a nice top stack straight on top. Rip and stack. Fold them over. I don't need to bind these down, but just come forward. Get some more. Rip and stack. I'll say with this is it can be 50-50 and don't need to be worrying about creating too much of a fancy head, because as you're going to see in a minute, it's not going to stay like this. And the reason I'm ripping and stacking like this is it gets all the fibres kind of going the same direction, because what you want is when you, in a minute, give this a bit of a comb, you don't want it catching on fibres that are all mingled and mangled, because all you end up doing is ripping. I don't want this to look fairly nice. I reckon probably the last stack. So that's the head finished like that. Just going to put a clip over that just to get it out of the way. Get some super glue on the thread. Just to seal the head. And this just stops everything coming undone. Quick whip finish. There you go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a comb and comb the shit out of this now. Just blend everything in nicely. And this just gets rid of all the loose bits that aren't particularly wanted. Well, what we're going to do now is I'm going to just puff the head up, give it a Mohican on top and bottom. And now I'm going to cut the taper that I want of this nice pointy pike head. So I tend to just put base of the scissors on the eye of the hook, cut a chunk off. And you want to be quite aggressive here, because you want this front half nice and skinny. You don't want lots of material here. What this enables me to have is, as you'll see, I'm building a nice skinny profile head. I want more off the bottom than I want off the top, ideally. That gives me is that really nice slim head. And I want more of that, really. I've got to be quite ruthless here to get that skinny head. As you can see, that's becoming quite a nice skinny head now. Maybe a bit more off the top. Still more of the belly, that's ideal. You just got to do this by eye. It's just keep cutting this out until you're happy with it. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to sculpt this properly on the next step. We just want enough to give it a skinny head. I'm happy with that. So there you go. Made the head nice and skinny. And what I'm going to do now is golf flex mode. So I'm going to get my flexible UV resin, and I'm going to splodge a bit on the end of my finger and then stroke that through the fly. And what it's going to do is give it a nice skinny profile, but still keeping that really nice flex. And what you can do on this step now is you can kind of shape the head a bit. A little bit more on the sides and on the top here. And once you're happy with the profile, you can then hit that with a UV torch. And what that's done is made the head, you can see that it's still soft, but it's kept that nice shape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find my preferred eyes, which are probably going to be let's have a look. Should have got this prepared earlier. Bear with me. Use some dead meats. Dead Meat Customs, if you don't know who they are, they're called Matt, based over in the States. He just makes these absolutely badass custom eyes. You can literally ask him to make something particular that you fancy or like the look of, and he'll make it for you. So cannot praise him enough. He's a great price, and he's even though he's from the States, he's actually really quick. I mean, you can get your gear really. I mean, obviously, because of this coronavirus shit at the minute, probably slow the process down a bit. But look him up, Facebook, Dead Meat Customs, Facebook or Instagram. He'll sort you out. I get all sorts of really nice eyes off of him. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a blob of Flexman where I want the eye to sit. And obviously this is a Jack Pike pattern, so it's not going to be at the front of the fly. It's going to be further back. So I get a blob of the Flexman where I want the eye to sit. And I place the eye in that Flexman. And then seal that in place. Same on the other side. Kind of eye them up roughly in the same area. I get another splodge of Flexman, and I'm just going to smear this around a bit, especially around the eye. And that'll seal that on nicely. And this just makes the head a bit more tougher. You now encase the eyes in Flexman. There's a little puffy bit you can just see probably there. I'm just going to turn a bit more UV on the belly. And there you have your Jack Pike fly. This is probably 12 inches. Nice and light. Nice profile to the head. Plenty of hook still. And as you can see, this light's pretty shit, but as you can see, a nice Jack Pike imitation. Well, anyway, I think it's nice. It works well. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and I shall see you next time. See you later.